All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another edition of Dunmark's podcast. One gotta go. You know the drill. One topic, four selections. We debate which one got to go. Chris, what were the poll results from last week?
For a homesick from school TV pack, soap operas got to go. And this
What?
surprised me. Yeah.
People voted. They had to vote wrong.
Listen,
You voted soap operas off the list. Donna put on the red glasses for that. Are you crazy?
All the people I bet all the people who voted for soap operas, all my friends, but I fucking hate y'all right now. You know what? I'm about to delete y'all on all my social media so y'all can never play this game again. You guys don't know drama. Y'all don't know romance. Y'all don't know shit.
Weekly storytelling at its finest, leaving you with cliffhangers on Friday to turn right back around and tune in on Monday.
Right?
It is. They pick judge shows over soap operas. No.
They pick reality scripted TV instead of the scripted TV.
Right. Like, I'm cool. Like, they love game shows, but yeah, I don't know how you kick soap operas off.
Nah.
This is coming
Four
from
guys.
the guys here. Yeah.
Four guys picking soap operas is crazy. But hey, it is what it is. All right, now, before you put up this week's, it's all right. You already clicked the button. No worries. Ladies, I'm sorry.
I missed it. I didn't see it.
Sometimes you
I don't see it yet.
Sometimes you just got to go with an all male topic. And this week, I saw it was Stuart Scott passed away. Scott Van Pelt had his daughters on his show, talking and remembering Stuart Scott. So for the fellas out there, this one's for y'all this week. Which SportsCenter anchor got to go? Now, SportsCenter was different when we was growing up. SportsCenter was the show.
Yes.
Right? It was the tune in, must watch, gotta watch SportsCenter. Now ESPN programming is kind of trash. There's not a real
it is.
If it's not a live game, I'm literally not turning on ESPN. Besides Pat McAfee, but I watch his stuff on YouTube. SportsCenter to me and just ESPN programming in general is hard to watch. So out of the OGs here, which SportsCenter anchor got to go? Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Stuart Scott, or Kenny Mayne?
I enjoy them all, but Stuart Scott had his own niche. He was in a league of his own. Kenny Mayne was also funny. Rich Eisen, I felt you got something from him. I think Dan Patrick, he didn't have the personality of the rest for me.
So you're kicking off like the Walter Cronkite of SportsCenter anchors, like the
Dan Rather.
Yeah, Dan Rather. You're kicking off the true anchor out of the list here.
Because he's the Michael Cole. All these other guys they get to do the Pat McAfee, have their own spin on it. So
there you go. And Jason, I am with you too. I'm kicking off Dan Patrick because he always saw one side and never saw the other side. He was never objective about anything. And we could get on. I mean, we could talk about that later, but you know what side I'm talking about. And this was the early '90s and all that stuff. So Dan Patrick got to go. I fucking hate him. I really do. He was the worst SportsCenter anchor to me. I'll stand on that hill too, and bring facts.
He said, "Stand. I ain't dying, but I'll stand on
it." Jason, kind of like what you brought up, like how they all had like their own feel and cadence and everything. Like, I like Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Stuart Scott. Kenny Mayne could be the one that would go for me.
Wow.
No, I like it.
So Kenny Mayne to me is like the SportsCenter version of Norm Macdonald. You either love Kenny Mayne or you hate Kenny Mayne.
Yeah.
So if you're not a fan of Kenny Mayne, I can see why you would vote him off this list, just because of how he did his shtick, which I enjoyed. I was a fan of Kenny Mayne, so, but I could see why you would vote him off, given that aspect of it. This is obviously in hindsight 2020, right? Patrick, like you guys said, is like the quintessential news anchor, I feel, as that goes. Eisen, to me, well, I love Rich Eisen, but I love Rich Eisen more for what he's done post SportsCenter.
Yeah.
What he's doing now is a perfect fit for him.
Yeah, like I love Eisen in that regard, and I don't necessarily want to hold I don't want that to be the determining factor as to why I would let him go because of how much I enjoy his stuff after SportsCenter. But he was like the first one to actually leave and do something else. Um, so with that being said, I'll kick him off just because of it being SportsCenter anchored because I'm so in love with what he's done afterwards.
Mm.
Radio, NFL, everything on the NFL Network.
Yeah.
Eisen to me is great. All four of these men are great. Don't get me wrong. Like,
I
but
like this. It's a little bit different in the group, so I'm sure the voting is going to be just the same this week.
yeah, but yeah, Stewart's not going anywhere. To me, Stewart
No.
is
He brought
one
the
of
flavor.
one of one. So, but it was kind of hard picking four because there was so many like that you could choose from. You know,
But I see why you picked these four.
yeah, these
Yeah.
you know a lot of these four are the four that get talked about the most.
Mhm.
And you know Patrick and Kenny were a duo. But yeah, it's crazy. 10 years for Stuart Scott already, and just thinking
It
about
seemed like
everything
yesterday.
that he's-
It seemed like
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. But they like, and this goes to show you how much of a one-on-one Stuart Scott is. There's been nobody else after him that is even comparable to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've had people come through the door that are comparable to these other three.
Mhm.
Scott Van Pelt being one, right? Like what he does, and he's so good at it that they gave him his own special sports center, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but there's been nobody to step in and even be good enough to a point where they even put him in the same breath as Stuart Scott in the last 10 years. So that goes to show just how special of a talent Stuart Scott was. Like tremendous. So yeah, kudos Stuart Scott. Again, ladies, I'm sorry, fellas, get out there and vote with SportsCenter anchor Gots to go. And then we'll check y'all around the way.